This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, more than 3,000 people turned up to the annual party at Dunedin's Hyde Street, many in very fancy dress. Southern firefighters got to burn down a house in Concord as part of a rarely held training exercise. And students flocked to a Careers Expo on the Taieri, with businesses hoping to inspire a lifelong passion for construction. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. Students were out in scores this weekend for the notorious Hyde Street party. The annual event has an infamous reputation in Dunedin, but this was more orderly this time round. Around 3,600 people pulled on Spider-Man outfits, pirate costumes or whatever else they fancied to dance the day away. Emergency services and partygoers alike called this year's event a success. The party was supervised by security guards and Dunedin police, with one arrest made for disorderly conduct. 2 people were taken to hospital and 10 were treated for minor injuries and intoxication on site. Senior Sergeant Anthony Bond says compared to the last event, there was less hassle, fewer idiots and fewer problems. The job of firefighters is usually to put fires out, but recently they got the opportunity to burn a Dunedin house to the ground. It was part of a training exercise which saw crews from Invercargill and Mosgiel setting a Concord home alight with a series of fires.
Burning down the house, piece by piece. Firefighters were tasked with lighting fires inside this 1990s era 4-bedroom family home in the Dunedin suburb of Concord. The training exercise was designed to give crews the opportunity to see the stages of a fire and how it develops without the pressure of having to save property or life.
Fun, really fun. I get paid to do this, it's awesome.
The house was furnished with donated furniture from the Salvation Army, with crews from Invercargill and Mosgiel going from room to room, setting the place on fire. Firefighters entered the house in teams consisting of 4 trainees and 2 instructors, setting a small fire in one of the rooms.
So this is compartment firefighting, which is quite dangerous to firefighters, because if they go in and there's no oxygen, they open up a door, can cause the oxygen can come in and cause a backdraft. So we're sort of training that, to keep an eye out for things like that as well.
Willowbank Station Officer Brent Key served as safety officer during the training exercise and says it was a lot of fun, but also a lot of hard work. He says these kind of setups are rare, as he's only had the opportunity 3 times in his 22 years as a career firefighter.
Pretty rare actually, I think in my 22 years I've done it 3 times for career firefighters.
Harry Finnerty says it gave him a valuable, realistic experience of being in a fire.
Yeah, like it was rolling out the door, it's coming over top of our heads.
The fire was coming over top of your heads. Okay.
Yeah,
was it hot?
Very hot, yeah, very hot.
The crews say it gave them the opportunity to learn about different types of fire scenarios. Property owner and developer David Grant says the cleared site will be used to build a 39-section development with 10,000 native trees and a nature walk planned. Sections are set to go on the market in the next 2 months. In Dunedin, The South Today.
And a Wāmaru man is flying high on the appreciation from his community for his years of service. Derek Beveridge had no idea he'd be escorted to a celebration dinner with the sound of bagpipes in the air. About 40 friends, family and colleagues surprised Beveridge with a meal and accolades for his 35-year service to Wāmaru's Air Training Corps.
We're a better community for the work that you've done over that time, most especially the volunteer work. It's an opportunity now to also thank family for giving up Derek so much, to allow him to go and do those things.
Beveridge was welcomed in with a haka as well as a guard of honour. He became Squadron 26's commanding officer 19 years ago, and during that time has been bestowed several awards, including the Queen's Service Medal. Dunedin businesses are looking to encourage school students to pick up a hammer and put their construction hats on. A career fair held recently had the goal of inspiring teenagers to help be a part of building the new Dunedin Hospital.
practicing some skills which might come in handy. Large groups of school students checked out the Otago Tairi A&P showgrounds recently to see if a job in construction could be in their futures. The students were able to grab hold of hardware tools to take part in competitions and workshops at the Workforce Central Career Fair. The event had a specific goal, organisers hoping some of the teams will be a part of building Dunedin's new hospital.
There's certainly an acute skills shortage now. When the hospital build starts, it's going to become very, very important to make sure we've got the correct skills on board.
Around 30 businesses set up stalls at the event with the knowledge that hundreds of workers will be needed for the $1.5 billion construction in central Dunedin. And while some skilled tradespeople will come from outside the city, inspiring local students could help future-proof the project's expected worker shortages.
We need around about 300 local people from Dunedin to express an interest to working at the hospital, and we need a further 600 people from outside Dunedin because we simply aren't big enough to supply the full labour force.
Businesses also believe diversifying the workforce is much needed.
And if you think of the low numbers of Māori, Pacifica, women, people with disabilities, immigrants, migrant labourers, the numbers are far too low. They're represented in construction, and we'd like to boost those numbers.
The construction industry was a major focus of the fair, but also highlighted was the range of healthcare roles which will be required once the hospital has been completed. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Whaiakene still to come on The South Today. A group of Dunedin bus users are demanding action after ongoing bus delays. And conservationists met up at Cardrona to hatch a plan with the shared goal of improving the environment.
Earth is a planet of extremes. Extreme places and extreme animals. But some animals are more extreme than others. Join us as we count down to find the most unusual, the most extraordinary, the most extreme.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency, and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
Every day the team at Gillian supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today.
Spark your joy with Jazz, the next generation from Honda.
Living Well Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
Hi, we're Age Concern Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including interwalks.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, You owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Passion,
drama,
competition,
rivalry, marketing,
numbers, atmosphere,
power, fight,
attack,
intuition,
love,
hate,
money,
cash,
millionaires, fans,
and fans.
Oh boy.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. Dunedin bus patrons are experiencing the unfortunate feeling of waiting around for a bus which doesn't turn up. Bus users support group Otepoti are calling for serious action to prevent people from being left on the side of the road. Bus services were again affected this weekend with a series of cancellations. The Otago Regional Council is blaming the bus interruptions on a spate of illnesses impacting drivers. Disruptions to Dunedin bus schedules have been plaguing passengers over the past couple of months. Bus users advocate Alex King says bus companies should adjust and stick to their schedules rather than just having buses turn up randomly. A Dunedin man is using virtual reality to craft paintball guns, which is sought after overseas. Alex Hodge has moved beyond the restrictions of the usual computer interface, designing his products in a 3D space.
A collection of paintball guns created using this headset. Dunedin man Alex Hodge spends his evenings digitally designing products and is using virtual reality to help improve the creation process. Virtual reality allows Hodge's overseas clients to see his paintball gun creations in a digital 3D space. That means they can get a better feel for the product without having to go through the costly process of manufacturing a physical prototype.
Where VR comes in is that it cuts out all that process by creating the model in 3D space already and then allowing the art directors overseas to be able to view that model in 3D as well. So at the same time we can both work on the same model and see it in 3D space, so it cuts out a lot of the back and forth.
Hodge spends his days designing fireplaces at Dunedin-based company ASEA, but has been moonlighting as a freelancer for years. His career really shot off when he started designing paintball guns for fun, work he's now doing using the virtual headset.
So now that there's VR, the process is faster. And it's just made a collaboration with other designers overseas, and it's made working in Dunedin more viable.
Once Hodge swapped to designing in virtual reality, there's been no going back.
I could design it in space, like sitting here, and have it one-to-one scale, seeing how big it is. Whereas if you're doing it on screen, you lose that sense of scale. So doing it in VR, you feel like you're in there.
Hodge is continuing to expand his portfolio and is now targeting a video game as his next big project. In Dunedin, the South today.
A large gathering of conservation groups have met at Cardrona Alpine Resort to discuss how they can work together to support the environment. The first meeting of its kind aimed to understand the impacts each group has and how things can be improved.
A historic meeting for the future of the Southern Lakes District. This conservation hui was held at Cardrona Alpine Resort on Friday. Described as a never-seen-before gathering, the event was organised by Southern Lakes Sanctuary, with the goal of bringing together a range of conservation groups in the area.
And with our project involving so many groups, that's why it's so important. A project like us hasn't been seen, so that's again why it's important we're using really innovative methods and really efficient methods as well.
The aim for the week-long assembly was for the groups to create a unified vision for the future of the district in central Otago. The hui brought together groups including Forest and Bird, Mana Tahuna, Waiwanaka and the Otago Regional Council.
And to see how we're in this big picture of this globally significant area that we live in, right on the doorstep and inside the World Heritage Area, which is phenomenal.
Conservation standards were a big talking point over the week, helping conservationists focus on issues head-on and ways of improving efficiency over time.
It's based around the management cycle, what we call adaptive management. So you plan to do some things, you do them, you see how you're going, and then you adapt the way and you continue on that cycle. And that's what the conservation standards in this week has been about.
Attendees say there was a lot of momentum gained from the 5-day workshop, with a second one now being planned. Networking, problem solving and planning all played a big role, with organisers hoping it could revolutionise the way conservation work is approached in the South Island. In Central Otago, the South Today.
One of Queenstown's longest running community sales continues to prove popular after more than 40 years. The Whakatupu ski sale drew bargain hunting crowds from far and wide over the weekend as winter rapidly approaches.
A queue snaked alongside the Queenstown Event Centre at the weekend, almost reaching the netball courts at the airport end of the facility. Eager skiers and snowboarders were keen to stock up for the upcoming season at the popular annual Whakatupu Ski Club sale.
Conservatively, I've got to say there's 1,500 people came through at the opening, and then plus that will come in as the sale continues.
Some people got there about an hour before doors opened to ensure they were among the first to get their pick of the pre-loved skis, poles, boards and wide range of clothing. Sales manager Peter Devine has been organising the event for the past 22 years of its 40-year history.
It started as a swap shop many years ago and has become more sophisticated over time. It's now a one-day, once-a-year sale where we put on 3,000 plus items, get 1,500, 2,000 Queenstowners come through, and we can deck the whole family out for relatively, for really good prices.
The sale is an important fundraiser for the ski club, with this year's 2-hour sale expected to raise about $14,000. About 120 volunteers worked hard to keep up with the scores of bargain hunters coming through. And shoppers won't have long to wait to test out their new purchases. Cardrona Alpine Resort is scheduled to open on Saturday, followed by Coronet Peak on June 17, the Remarkables a day later, and finally Treble Cone on June 25th. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Whai Akane. After the break on the South Today, Dunedin motocross rider Courtney Duncan is back from injury in the World Champs Series, and we'll take a look at the weather.
Drop when you
risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Oh mate, I'm thinking about getting a new ute.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. Dunedin rider Courtney Duncan has continued her reputation as the reigning comeback queen in the Women's Motocross World Championships. The 26-year-old is the reigning world champion, but is recovering from a broken collarbone suffered earlier in the season and had to miss the third round. Over the weekend, she competed in the second last round of the MXGP in Spain. In race 1, Duncan had a strong start, drawing closer to the championship leader, Dutchwoman Nancy van der Ven, ratcheting her up her attack to win the race by just over 4 seconds. In race 2, she had competition from Spanish rider Daniela Guillén, with the home crowd spurring on their local star to win, with the Kiwi claiming second place. There's now a 2.5-month gap in the series calendar, with Duncan planning to return home to Dunedin to prepare for the final round in September. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. More than 3,000 people enjoyed the annual party at Dunedin's Hyde Street in fancy dress and mostly good behaviour. Southern firefighters got to burn down a house in Dunedin room by room as part of an important intensive training exercise. And large numbers of school students flocked to a careers expo on the Taieri, looking to find workers for the new hospital build, along with careers in healthcare. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the editor, Barry Stewart. Kia ora, Barry.
Hello, Hannah.
What can we expect in tomorrow's paper?
Well, actually, we've got quite a lot of good stories in tomorrow's paper. The Dunedin man in charge of the night and day stores is very excited about the government moves to aimed at lowering supermarket prices. So they're suggesting that they may give them an opportunity to get into the market. So they're positive about that.
Great.
Deputy Mayor Nobby Clark has had a change of heart and has announced he is standing for the mayoralty in Invercargill. So there's a change there. Education Perfect has hit back at claims that well, they were accused of sending data to Facebook about children, so they've hit back at that. And if you remember, some time ago there was a fatal on the highway. The 17-year-old driver who killed 2 mothers has pleaded guilty, and the judge, in an explanation, he had said he had fallen asleep. The judge has ruled that out. So
this is
bit more
the
on
Waihola
yes,
crash
indeed.
last year. Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah. And rather sad news to finish on. Tributes have come in for Stan Roger, an old school politician who died today. So Mr. Roger was, of course, a former Labor MP in Dunedin.
All right, well, we look forward to reading about all of those stories in tomorrow's paper. Thank you,
Thank
Barry.
you.
And now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation, multiple low pressure centres, troughs and fronts are currently over the Tasman Sea and will move up and over in the next few days, bringing northwest airflow to start and then colder southwesterlies. Heading to the top of the South Island first, Nelson will be cloudy with rain and 17 degrees tomorrow. A lot of rain on the way for Greymouth, also with 17, while Christchurch will be warm with 20 degrees. To our southern towns now, and there'll be fresh nor'westerlies through here tomorrow. Balclutha and the Catlins head for 17, with Lumsden and Gore reaching 16 degrees as the high. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes area, north to northwest winds are on the way tomorrow, with Alexandra warming up to 18, while Wanaka, Queenstown and Te Anau head for 16 degrees. To the northern towns next. Northerlies and a spot of cloud on this side of the coast tomorrow. Timaru will be lovely and warm with 20 degrees, and Oamaru not far behind on 19. And over to Twizel and Omarama, 18 degrees with fresh nor'westerlies and some cloud. Down to Dunedin. Well, mostly cloudy tonight with nor'east winds as it drops to 10 degrees. Tomorrow looks mostly fine with high cloud and northerly breezes. Maybe some brief late rain, but expect a high of 19 and a low of 12 degrees. Wednesday looks dry with fresh gusty nor'westerlies up to 16 and down to 11 degrees. And now to Invercargill. Mostly fine with some high cloud tonight, dropping down to 11. Tomorrow it'll be dry with thick high cloud, fresh gusty nor'westerlies and evening rain, reaching 17 as the high and then down to 12. Showers clear on Wednesday, so it'll be sunny with strong gusty nor'westerlies, a high of 15 and an overnight low of 11 degrees. That's the news this Monday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira, kia pai te pou, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.